Hello, Professor. This is my film analysis on Marie Antoinette, my favorite movie, by Sofia Coppola. So, unveiling Sofia Coppola's Marie Antoinette. Marie Antoinette is directed by Sofia Coppola. It offers a modern take on the life of France's iconic but controversial queen. Released in 2006, the film is renowned for its unique style, blending historical events with contemporary music and fashion. This presentation will explore how Coppola's artistic choices influence our understanding of the character and her story, setting the stage for a deeper analysis of the film's impact and reception. Sofia Coppola's Marie Antoinette challenges traditional historical narratives by using modern cinematic techniques and storytelling, offering a fresh perspective on the life and legacy of the young queen. This analysis will examine how Coppola's distinctive approach not only redefines Marie Antoinette's image, but also engages a contemporary audience with the past. Here are some key points. The first key point I will go over is the visual style and color palette. I will examine the film's aesthetic choices, including its use of vibrant colors and detailed costumes and their impact on the storytelling. My next key point is historical accuracy versus artistic license, where I will discuss the balance between historical facts and Sofia Coppola's artistic interpretations in the portrayal of Marie Antoinette's life. I will then go over the character development and audience connection, where I will be exploring how the film develops its characters, particularly Marie Antoinette, to foster a deeper emotion connection with the audience. I will then go over symbolism and themes, where I will explore the use of symbolism in the film and how certain themes such as freedom, identity, and societal expectations are conveyed through the visual cues and narrative elements. I will then go over the soundtrack and atmosphere, where I will discuss the impact of the film's soundtrack, which features a mix of contemporary music and classical compositions on the overall atmosphere and storytelling, highlighting how it enhances the emotional resonance of the scenes. So for visual styles and color palette, Sofia Coppola's Marie Antoinette is renowned for its distinctive visual style that blends historical elements with modern sensibilities, creating a unique cinematic experience. Um, the film is characterized by a soft pastel color palette, interprets with a burst of rich, vibrant colors. Colors are used to reflect the emotional states and social dynamics of the characters, with lush greens, soft pinks, and bold blues, depicting various thematic undertones. Natural lighting emphasizes the authenticity and grandeur of the palette setting with the cinematography. Framing and composition is also used, where each frame is meticulously crafted to capture the extravagance of the era and the personal isolation of Marie Antoinette within the opulent environment. There are some artistic choices made, such as the modern twist on period elements. The film integrates modern elements such as contemporary music and unconventional costume design with the traditional period setting, creating a visually striking contrast that appeals to the contemporary audience. Costume and set designs are another artistic choice. Um, they highlight specific examples like the use of Converse sneakers in one scene, which bridge the historical with the modern, making the past accessible and relatable. The innovative use of visual styles and color palettes in Marie Antoinette not only enhances the narrative, but also engages the audience visually and emotionally, making it stand out as an example of cinematic art. Asia Argento, who plays Madame du Barry in the film, told Vogue in the article, it was like hosting the ultimate party, an oral history of Sofia Coppola's Marie Antoinette. They wanted my character to look different from the rest of Versailles. She, she's talking about Sofia Coppola, chose a lot of deep reds and purples for me, compared to the pastels of all the other girls. Um, just to show that Du Barry was not like them. This shows us even costumes can give us a whole perspective on a person and how they pertain to the story. I give an example here of Madame Du Barry in the film. She is the king's mistress, and she is seen wearing dark and exotic hues to emphasize she is different from the court of Versailles and despised by the people around her. She is seen as an evil, and that is shown through her clothing, so the audience sees her as the rest of Versailles does. For most of the movie, for most of the court, including Marie Antoinette, they are seen with pastel tones and more contemporary details. This artistic choice was chosen by Coppola to make the film feel more girly and fun rather than academic, while letting the audience get an emotional feel on each character, which is showcased by the colors the characters are seen wearing throughout the film. For historical accuracy versus artistic license, Sofia Coppola's Marie Antoinette is a unique blend of historical facts and artistic interpretation, offering a fresh take on the life of France's most misunderstood queen. For historical accuracy, there are a few key events. The film accurately captures Marie Antoinette's marriage to Louis VIII, the opulence of life at Versailles, and the political turmoil that led to the French Revolution. There's some cultural details. It meticulously portrays the extravagant fashion and elaborate rituals of the French court, grounding the narrative in a vivid historical text. For artistic license, Coppola chooses to use some modern touches. Coppola introduces modern elements like contemporary soundtracks, featuring bands like The Strokes and New Order, and modern day language expressions, which bridge the gap between the past and present, making the story accessible and engaging for today's audience. There is an emotional focus. While some historical details are softened or altered, these changes are aimed at deepening the emotional impact of Marie Antoinette's personal journey, emphasizing her youth, isolation, and scapegoating she endured. There is a balancing act. The purpose behind the choices is Coppola's artistic licenses are not merely for aesthetic pleasure, but are carefully chosen to enhance thematic resonance, focusing on themes of isolation, excess, and eventual downfall. There is a viewer impact. These creative choices may shift how audiences perceive Marie Antoinette, not just as a historical figure, but as a young woman caught in the whirlwind of societal and personal upheavals. The film Marie Antoinette by Sofia Coppola serves as a compelling case study of how historical films can honor their factual origins while engaging in modern sensibilities through artistic interpretation. This approach not only entertains, but it also opens up new pathways for understanding historical figures and eras. I found in an article called Why Marie Antoinette is Sofia Coppola's Controversial Masterpiece from MSN.com, where it's a story by R.B. Medina, and it states Sofia Coppola chose to approach the film in an unconventional manner. Instead of adhering to the history, she took creative liberties. The liberties in question range from soundtrack made up of modern pop music to including a pair of Converse shoes in one shot. By foregoing historical accuracy, she was able to create a stylized and intimate portrayal of a young woman navigating the complexities of her new life. I use these pictures because this is the original of Marie Antoinette. They then go on to remake it as Kirsten Dunst, and they put things like this that say "Beware of the Deficit" or "Madame Deficit" to they were kind of made to look like modern day tabloids, just to show that that was how a celebrity was back in those days. Okay, and I have some examples here. This right here is the morning dress ceremony, and this is the mistress of the household. She kind of guides Marie Antoinette as she goes through her palace life. And all these women here, including way more that are around her, are part of the high court. They get her dressed. In the morning, she thinks it's ridiculous, but it is protocol. So here I write, the film does have accuracies, such as the morning dress ceremony, where it depicts a daily ritual where nobles were granted the privilege to help the queen dress. This ceremony is historically accurate and highlights the rigid protocols of French court. It effectively shows the lack of privacy and the intense scrutiny Marie Antoinette faced, emphasizing her role as a public figure rather than a private individual. In this scene, Marie Antoinette expresses her frustration with protocol by stating, "This is ridiculous." And we get the famous line from Judy Davis where she replies, "Madame, this is Versailles." I then go on to show here the artistic licenses, such as the clothing and the music worn. I'm sorry, the music played and the clothing worn in this scene, which is the um, masked ball scene, and the Converse seen in the background of one of the shots. So in Marie Antoinette, you may see a purple Converse sneakers hidden. This serves as a bold symbol of rebellion and individuality. This modern twist in the historical setting not only adds a playful element, but also highlights Marie Antoinette's desire to break free from the traditional royal constraints, emphasizing her unique and unconventional approach to her role as queen. In the masked ball scene, the contemporary music and wardrobe choices serve as vibrant expressions of youth and modernity. The inclusions of bands like The Strokes juxtaposed with the historical setting underscores the timeless themes of rebellion and self-expression. This artistic choice connects with Marie Antoinette's era with today's audience, making her story more relatable and vivid. For character development and audience connection, in Marie Antoinette, director Sofia Coppola explores the emotional and personal growth of Marie Antoinette, which significantly enhances the audience's connection to her as a character. By focusing on Marie's transformation from a naive young girl to a mature queen, Coppola provides a deep personal insight that fosters empathy and understanding. There are some key elements of character development. The first one is personal growth. The film traces Antoinette's journey from her arrival at French court, full of innocence and unaware of the political machinations around her, to her evolution into a sovereign who faces her fate with dignity. The second one is emotional depth. Coppola dives into Marie's emotional struggles with loneliness and isolation despite her opulent surroundings. This humanizes her and makes her more relatable to the audience. Um, they use many techniques to enhance the audience's connection, such as modern touches. The use of modern music and contemporary fashion, such as the infamous pair of Converse sneakers, bridges the historical gap, making her story accessible and relevant to modern audiences. The second one is some cinematic choices. Intimate cinematography captures the lavish yet confining environment of Versailles, emphasizing Marie's isolation and the suffocating nature of her royal duties. There is an impact on the audience by presenting Marie Antoinette not just as a queen, but as a young woman facing immense personal and public challenges. Coppola encourages the audience to view her with sympathy and understanding. This approach not only revitalizes her story, but also invites viewers to reflect on the complexities of her life and pressures of royalty. In an article for BFI.org titled Portrait of a Lady, Sofia Coppola and Marie Antoinette, it is stated by the author Pam Cook, Coppola's strategy is to move between exterior observations and interior perception, so viewers experience both empathy with and estrangements from her flawed heroine. Although we witness Marie Antoinette's progress towards maturity, we are not invited to decide whether she is good or bad. Rather, we are encouraged to respond to an emotional level to her situation. Here are some examples here of her growth throughout the movie. This is one of the first parts. This scene showcases Marie's arrival at Versailles. It showcases her innocence and her naiveness as an Austrian girl who had to leave everything and everyone from her foreign court behind. In this scene right here, it showcases Marie Antoinette and King Louis VIII at their coronation, symbolizing her role from a young princess with not much responsibility besides producing an heir to the throne, into a role of power and responsibility at only 18 that changes her life as she knows it. In this scene right here, it shows one of her many moments of solitude wandering throughout the vast halls of Versailles, where she has thrown negative comments and whispers from other court members, highlighting her isolation and introspection. In this final balcony scene, Marie Antoinette shows her growth by bowing to the mob. Despite the danger, this act of dignity and bravery highlights her maturity and dignity as she gracefully faces her challenging fate. It's a key moment that really shows how much she has evolved from a somewhat naive queen to a mature leader. So symbolism and themes. Symbolism and focus. Sofia Coppola masterfully employs symbolism throughout the film to enhance the narrative and convey deeper meaning. Fashion and color, for example, are used as powerful visual cues to reflect the character's internal states and thematic depth of the story. There are some central themes. The first one is freedom. One of the central themes explored in film is Marie Antoinette's personal quest for freedom. We witness her desire to break free from the constraints of her royal position and the societal expectations, and her journey towards self-discovery and autonomy. Another significant theme is the exploration of Marie Antoinette's evolving identity. We witness her transformations from a carefree young princess to the Queen of France, and the challenges she faced navigating her role amidst the intense public scrutiny. The film dives into the complexities of self-identity and the pressures of conforming to societal norms. The film also dives into the theme of societal expectations. Through the opulent and restrictive world of the French court, we see how Marie Antoinette grapples with the demands placed upon her as a queen, and the impact these expectations have on her personal choices and happiness. To effectively convey these complex themes, Sofia Coppola skillfully combines visual storytelling with narrative elements. Notable scenes include the morning dress ceremony, which showcases the rigid formality and expectations of the court, and the masked ball scene, where contemporary music and wardrobe choices challenge historical accuracy, yet serve to emphasize Marie Antoinette's rebellion against tradition. Veronique Mallory, who was a set director for the film, said to Vogue in the article, "It was like hosting the ultimate party. We knew there were going to be a lot of close-ups in the bedroom scenes, so the amount of detail that had to be immaculate. We wanted to recreate this feeling of this little woodland creature enveloped in a nest of luxury who still feels terribly lonely. We wanted it to look real, to contrast with the scenes in the Petit Chignon, where Marie has more freedom and there's a lot of flowy white curtains. Every set requires making choices that match the architecture of the period, but also help to tell the story. It's funny how sets can develop an emotion to the audience, isn't it? Here are some examples. So this scene from Marie Antoinette depicts her 18th birthday party, a lavish and extravagant celebration that lasts until dawn. The party is filled with dancing, laughter, and indulgence, and it symbolizes her youthful desire to embrace pleasure and joy. Watching the sunrise at the end of the night can be seen as a metaphor. It is seen right here. It is seen as a metaphor for hope and new beginnings, yet it also underscores the ephemeral nature of her escapism, highlighting that despite the night's freedom, the realities of court life and its pressures await her with the new day. This beautifully captures her ongoing struggle between seeking personal happiness and fulfilling her royal duties. Another example I have right here is this scene. This scene showcases where she retreats to her private chateau, the Petit Chignon. They are quite symbolic. This smaller palace within Versailles grounds was given to her by Louis VIII, and it becomes her escape from the overwhelming formalities and scrutiny of court life. Here, Marie Antoinette surrounds herself with nature, simpler pleasures, and more relaxed social circle. These scenes visually represent her desire for personal freedom and more authentic connection with the world around her, contrasting sharply with the artificial and restrictive environment of the main palace. It's a place where she can express her true self, get away from the expectations and pressures of being the queen. This longing for freedom and connection with nature highlights her need to find peace and happiness in her own terms within the confines of her royal duties. So for the soundtrack and atmosphere, the film's soundtrack is a captivating blend of contemporary and classical music that adds a unique and modern twist to its period setting. Director Sofia Coppola intentionally chose modern songs from artists like The Strokes, Bow Wow Wow, and New Order to create a vibrant and relatable atmosphere. These contemporary tracks inject a youthful energy into the film, making it more accessible to a younger audience. In addition to the modern music, the film also incorporates classical compositions by artists such as Jean-Philippe Rameau and Antonio Vivaldi. These classical pieces bring a sense of authenticity to the historical context and enhance the emotional depth of the storytelling. The soundtrack of Marie Antoinette not only complements the visuals, but also serves as a narrative tool, reflecting the inner thoughts and emotions of the characters. It adds layers of meaning and enhances the overall cinematic experience. So the soundtrack of Marie Antoinette is an integral part of the film, blending the contemporary and classical film to create a unique and captivating auditory landscape. The atmosphere of the film plays a crucial role in immersing the audience in the world of Marie Antoinette and capturing the essence of the time period. The film's atmosphere is characterized by a unique blend of opulence, decadence, and a youthful rebellion. Director Sofia Coppola uses the lavish set designs, intricate costumes, and vibrant colors to create a visually stunning backdrop that transports viewers to an extravagant world of the French court. Additionally, the film's atmospheric elements, such as the lighting and cinematography, contribute to the overall mood and tone. The soft, dreamlike lighting and intimate camera angles enhance the sense of intimacy and introspection. Overall, the atmosphere of Marie Antoinette is carefully crafted to evoke a sense of both grandeur and vulnerability, immersing viewers in the emotional journey of the protagonist and capturing the essence of the historical period. In an article for the AV Club by Rob Dean, let's examine the visual aesthetic of Sofia Coppola's work. It is stated by Jacob T. Sweeney, who examines the visual stylings of the film. What defines Sofia Coppola's aesthetic? Is it the sublime use of soft and natural lighting? Is it the subtle pastels of the color palette? Maybe the handheld camera that dizzily floats around the characters? All these visual characteristics work together harmoniously to create Coppola's distinct, dreamlike atmosphere. I have some examples here. My first one is this one, the masked ball scene in Marie Antoinette. It is super cool. It's this fancy party where everyone wears masks and dances all night. The soundtrack adds a modern twist to the scene, with songs like Fools Rush In by Bow Wow Wow. The upbeat music creates a fun and rebellious vibe, showing Marie Antoinette's desire to break free from tradition. It's a memorable moment that perfectly blends the visual spectacle of the ball with the energetic soundtrack. In the I Want Candy scene in Marie Antoinette, it's all about having a good time. Marie Antoinette and her friends are enjoying themselves, eating yummy treats, and just letting loose. The scene has a lively and carefree vibe, and the song I Want Candy by Bow Wow Wow adds to the fun of the atmosphere. It's a modern twist in a historical setting, showing Marie Antoinette's rebellious side. The combination of visuals and music and the overall energy of the scene make it a memorable part of the movie. Right here, we have the outdoor dinner scene. Um, okay. So I had the outdoor dinner scene for that last slide, but that one just showcases how she. What? Give me one. Okay, the video in the following slide showcases the birthday party scene in Marie Antoinette. It is such a dreamy and enchanting moment. It begins with Marie Antoinette's birthday celebration, where her and her friends are surrounded by extravagance and indulgence. This scene is filled with vibrant colors, lavish costumes, and an abundance of decadent treats. It truly captures the opulence and excess of the royal court. As the night progresses, the atmosphere shifts. The party transitions into a more intimate gathering, with Marie and her close friends watching the sunrise. This quieter moment showcases Sofia Coppola's signature style of focusing on introspection and the inner lives of the characters. It's a beautiful way to convey the passage of time and the fleeting nature of pleasure. The scene is visually stunning, with the soft lighting and ethereal music creating a sense of magic and escapism. It perfectly encapsulates Sofia Coppola's unique approach to storytelling, where she combines lavish visuals with the introspective moments to create a dreamlike atmosphere. In this scene, Sofia Coppola showcases her ability to create a visual captivating moments while also diving into the emotional depth of her characters. It's a beautiful example of her distinct directorial style and her talent for crafting immersive cinematic experiences. Here it is. Oh.
Happy birthday, darling. Happy birthday, 18. Happy
Big stakes, come on. That one's for me. Oh,
Oh, you darling. Thank you.
okay, come on to the cellar. Speak to the Bongino.
The bedroom.
Listen.
Marvelous. I've heard he likes men. I'm sorry. I love your hair. What's going on there?
Everything.
It's fantastic.
Full of secrecy. You're winning, I hope.
It's quite late. I think it's time for the dealers to return to Paris.
You said we could play, but you never specified for how long.
Your work.
I won again! Give me my two. I think you're really good at this game.
Oh no, don't go to sleep. We're gonna watch the sunrise. Don't you want to see that?
I'd rather get some much needed sleep.
Have you ever watched the sunrise?
My eyes over for the heart, my dear.
Oh, that doesn't count. It's your turn, madame.
Try not to lose our whole fortune.
That's impressive, man. That is very impressive. Come on, people are back. Move.
Isn't that the most beautiful thing you've ever seen? Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy
birthday.
Was it to the new day?
Okay, and this is just my citations and sources. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed my